Hello class! Today we're going to talk about good stewardship with our supplies, specifically how to clean brushes when we're done painting with watercolor and acrylic. Alright, so first, what does stewardship mean? Stewardship means taking care of things. So in this case, we want to take good care of our brushes so that we can use them again and again. I have a few examples here of poorly taking care of brushes. I'm going to take a look at them and see if I can figure out what went wrong. So first I'm going to look at this brush. It's a big brush I used on a really large canvas. You can tell I was using kind of a gray-blue color. When I was done using, I set it aside and went to have dinner with my family. And when I came back to it an hour or two later, this had happened. The bristles are hard. I can barely peel them apart. And that paint is stuck on. It will not come off. That wasn't very good stewardship. This brush is basically ruined. Here's another brush I have, and though it mostly looks clean, you can see in here that there's a little bit of paint stuck. And the bristles, they feel really rough from having had paint left on them for so long. Really had to scrub that off. Let me think about how we can do a better job. So, what we're going to do is we are going to figure out how we can do a better job with this brush. So once you have finished painting and you're ready to clean up your supplies, we're going to take our brush and we're going to wash it. But first, I look and I see there's a lot of paint on my brush. I wonder if I want to wash that down the drain, or I wonder if that might not be very good for my sewer system. Maybe I should take a paper towel and clean my brush off. I will start by wiping off like I'm petting the paper towel with my brush, and then I'm going to gently pinch the bristles and pull them through in a squeegeeing fashion to get as much of the paint off as I can. When I pinch my bristles, I see that they fan out a little bit, and that makes it easier to get in between them to get some of the excess paint off. Alright. I look at my brush and it seems like a lot of the paint is off now, so I think I'm going to start washing it. Next, as I start washing my paintbrush, I need to think of a few things. I wonder if warm or cold water would be better. Let's think. When I wash my hands, I use warm water. It helps remove things and clear germs. I also use soap when I wash my hands, but since this was just a mild acrylic paint, I wonder if soap might be hard on my bristles. I think this time I'm going to stick with using warm water without any soap to see if it does a good enough job. So turn my tap to warm. Don't want my water to spray everywhere, so I'm going to leave it running low. I also don't want to turn it all the way up and worry about wasting a bunch of water as I wash my brush. So instead, I'm going to turn it to a low setting so there's not too much splatter and not too much water waste. Next, I'm going to put my paintbrush under here. Oh, look at that. Wow, all the paint is coming right off the brush. That's fantastic. But if I squeeze out this brush, I can still see there's more. So I'm going to use the same technique I used with the paper towel, where I gently squeegee the water through, rolling the bristles very gently in my fingers. I'm not pulling hard. I'm just going to pull a little gently and get in there and make sure all the paint is out. It looks to me like the paint is out. So I'm going to turn off the water and wonder how I can check. I'd hate to go back to paint tomorrow with white and have a bunch of blue come out, or worse yet, go back to paint tomorrow and find out I didn't rinse my brush all the way and there's too much paint and it's ruined my brush. So why don't we take this paper towel, this is a cloth. You can use a paper towel or a cloth. And I'm going to use it to gently dry my brush by using the same petting method and then the squeegeeing method where I pinch it with my fingertips. This is going to dry my brush, and I think I'll be able to see if I've left any paint. It comes out nice and white, which means I have gotten all the paint out of my brush. Lastly, I'm ready to put my brush out to dry. How should I put it? Should I just drop and run? Now I should really take a second and think about it. If I put my brush upside down, those bristles might get squashed and flat. That'll be really awkward to paint with. Instead, I'm going to put my brush facing up into a jar. So here I have a jar next to my sink. I'm going to just go ahead and place my brush in there tidily so that it can air dry the rest of the way. There you have it. We have clean brushes ready for us to paint on our next project.